When most people imagine someone getting hacked, they picture carelessness. They imagine someone clicking a sketchy link, using password 123, or ignoring obvious warning signs. But that's not what most real-world attacks look like. In fact, many victims of cyber attacks are intelligent, cautious, and experienced professionals, engineers, executives, and security-aware users. So why does this keep happening? Why do smart people who understand risk, still get compromised? The uncomfortable answer is this: cybersecurity isn't just about intelligence. It's about psychology, systems, and the subtle ways attackers manipulate normal human behavior. And intelligence alone doesn't protect you from that.
Breach Bites TV.
Being smart doesn't make you immune to manipulation, and in some situations, it can actually increase your exposure. Highly intelligent people tend to rely on mental models they've built over time. They've learned how to recognize patterns, how to detect inconsistencies, and how to solve problems efficiently. That experience creates confidence, and confidence is usually a strength. But in cybersecurity, confidence can quietly become a vulnerability. Modern attacks are not designed to look suspicious. They are designed to look ordinary, resemble real invoices, legitimate login prompts, routine company communications, and expected document shares. In many cases, attackers use real platforms and real infrastructure, which removes the obvious red flags people have been trained to look for. When something appears structurally correct, the brain categorizes it as safe. Intelligent people move quickly because they are used to being right, and that speed reduces friction. But speed also reduces inspection. Attackers do not need to outthink you. They only need you to trust your first impression. And first impressions are formed in milliseconds. Smart people are often rewarded for speed. In professional environments, responsiveness is seen as competence. Clearing your inbox quickly, responding to requests immediately, and multitasking effectively are signals of productivity. But cybersecurity does not reward speed. It rewards hesitation. When you are moving quickly, your brain shifts into efficiency mode. Instead of analyzing details, it relies on recognition. It asks simple internal questions. Have I seen something like this before? Does this match my expectations? If the answer feels like yes, it proceeds without deeper verification. Attackers intentionally design messages that satisfy those surface-level checks. They mimic tone, formatting, logos, and timing. They send messages during busy hours because urgency reduces scrutiny. They introduce small, believable requests rather than dramatic demands. The faster you move, the more your brain trusts familiarity over verification. That's not a flaw in intelligence. It's how cognitive processing works. But it creates a window of opportunity that attackers exploit constantly. There's a psychological principle called overconfidence bias, which is the tendency for people to overestimate their ability to avoid mistakes. This affects highly educated individuals just as much, and sometimes more, because they trust their analytical skills. If you believe you're good at spotting scams, you may lower your guard slightly without realizing it. You might skip verifying a sender's address, overlook subtle domain misspellings, or assume an internal request must be legitimate because it appears to fit the context. Attackers don't break complex systems. They exploit assumptions, and the smarter someone is, the more they trust their own assumptions. That trust can quietly become a blind spot. Many modern attacks succeed because they happen in exactly the right context. Imagine you're waiting on a document from HR, expecting a package delivery, working on a financial transfer, or responding to a client. Then an email arrives that fits perfectly into that moment, referencing the correct project name and using the right terminology. It looks completely ordinary because attackers often gather information before they act. They research LinkedIn profiles, scrape company websites, analyze past breach data, and study public communications. By the time they strike, they aren't guessing, they're tailoring. When something fits your current context, your brain automatically assigns it credibility, and even smart people rely on context to make fast decisions. Cognitive load plays a massive role in modern cyber attacks. The average professional today is processing more information in a single day than people did in weeks a generation ago. Emails, instant messages, notifications, meetings, texts, and app alerts all compete for attention simultaneously. The brain adapts by conserving energy. It filters aggressively, discards details, and prioritizes speed over depth. Under high cognitive load, subtle inconsistencies become almost invisible. A slightly misspelled domain name, an unusual login location, small change in phrasing. These details require focused attention to detect, and focused attention is a limited resource. When your mental bandwidth is already saturated, your defenses weaken not because you lack intelligence, but because attention is finite. Attackers understand this limitation intimately. They don't attack when you are calm and focused. They attack when you are overwhelmed, distracted, or fatigued. In those moments, even highly analytical individuals make quick, imperfect decisions. That's not stupidity. It's biology. We instinctively trust what we recognize. If you've seen the Microsoft login page 1,000 times, you stop analyzing it carefully. If you regularly receive Google Drive shares, you stop questioning them. Attackers replicate that familiarity by cloning login portals, mirroring branding with precision, and mimicking email formatting down to the smallest detail. When something looks familiar, your brain switches off its defensive posture and treats it as safe by default. It feels routine, and routine feels secure, even when it isn't. Smart individuals often believe they are lower-risk targets because they assume attackers focus on large corporations, wealthy individuals, or high-profile figures. But automation has changed everything. Most cyberattacks today are not personal. They are scalable and indiscriminate. Credential stuffing tools can test millions of account combinations in minutes, and data from old breaches is constantly reused in new attacks. You don't have to be important to be targeted. You just have to reuse one password or make one small mistake. The scale of automation makes everyone a potential target, and intelligence doesn't change that equation. The deeper issue isn't intelligence at all. It's system design. Many security systems assume that users will behave perfectly at all times. They assume people will create unique passwords for every account, carefully inspect every link, verify every request, and never act impulsively. But humans are not designed for constant vigilance. We are designed for efficiency. We form habits, we create shortcuts, and we optimize for speed, because that's how we survive complex environments. When security policies demand flawless behavior, they create friction. And when friction increases, people look for ways around it. That's why password reuse happens. It's why people approve multi-factor prompts without thinking. It's why suspicious emails sometimes get through. It's not rebellion, it's adaptation. Attackers don't fight human nature, they leverage it. They design attacks that feel easy, seamless, and aligned with existing behavior. Until security systems are built around realistic human behavior instead of idealized behavior, intelligence alone will never be enough. The solution isn't simply to be smarter or more careful. It's to reduce reliance on human perfection. Password managers, multi-factor authentication, limited password reuse, and deliberate pauses before responding to urgent requests are effective. Not because they require intelligence, but because they account for human limitations. Good security design removes the need to constantly make perfect decisions. It builds safeguards around inevitable human moments of distraction, fatigue, and overconfidence, because eventually everyone slips, even smart people. There's also something called the illusion of control. It's the belief that because we understand a risk, we can manage it perfectly. When someone reads about phishing or data breaches, they often feel more secure afterward because awareness creates a sense of control. But awareness is not the same as immunity. Knowing that phishing exists does not prevent a well-crafted message from slipping through during a busy afternoon. Understanding password hygiene does not eliminate the temptation to reuse credentials when faced with dozens of accounts. The illusion of control is powerful because it feels rational, it feels responsible. But attackers are constantly evolving. They test new formats, new emotional triggers, new delivery methods. They automate personalization. They analyze which tactics succeed and refine them continuously. Security is not static, and neither are attackers. The moment someone believes they have mastered the threat landscape is the moment they stop adapting. Cybersecurity punishes stagnation. If there's one takeaway from this video, it's that getting hacked is not a reflection of intelligence. It's a reflection of how systems intersect with human behavior. Attackers don't target ignorance. They target moments of distraction, moments of urgency, moments of routine. They study psychology more than they study code, because humans are often the most predictable component of any system. If you found this breakdown helpful, consider subscribing. This channel exists to explain why cybersecurity fails in the real world, not in theory, not in marketing slides, but in everyday behavior. If you want to understand why password rules still fail, what really happens after a data breach, and how attackers adapt to normal human habits, watch the other videos on this channel. The more we understand how these systems truly break down, the harder we become to exploit. I'll see you in the next one.